podcast. Today we will be talking about Alva Bellamont Alva. Bellamont was born in the heart of the Deep South. Alva Erskine Smith seemed destined for a life of privilege and parties. But beneath the silks and satins beat the heart of a rebel. Today, we'll uncover how Alva defied expectations, fought for women's rights, and left a legacy that still resonates today. Sound of horse-drawn carriage and bustling city. Narrator. Alva's journey began in Mobile, Alabama in 1853. Picture a world of grand mansions, elegant balls, and rigid social rules. Sound of a music box playing a waltz. Narrator. Though surrounded by wealth, Alva's childhood wasn't without its challenges. Her father's business ventures took the family to New York and then to Paris, where Alva was exposed to different cultures and ideas. This early exposure to a wider world likely sparked her independent spirit. Sound of a crackling fire. Narrator. Back in New York, Alva married William Kissam Vanderbilt, heir to the Vanderbilt Railroad fortune. Now, you might think marrying into one of America's wealthiest families would mean a life of leisure. But for Alva, it was a gilded cage. She used her position and wealth to challenge social norms and advocate for causes she believed in. Sound of a gavel banging. Narrator. Alva's activism wasn't just about tea parties and polite conversation. She took action. She was a major force in the women's suffrage movement, a time when women were fighting for the right to vote. Alva put her money where her mouth was, funding organizations like the National Woman's Party, and even hosting rallies at her own mansion. Can you imagine the uproar? Sound of a crowd cheering and chanting votes for women. Narrator. Alva's efforts didn't stop at suffrage. She also championed workers' rights, especially for women working in terrible conditions in factories. She believed in equal pay for equal work, something we're still fighting for today. Sound of factory machinery. Narrator. Alva wasn't afraid to ruffle feathers. She challenged the societal rules that kept women confined to the domestic sphere. She even divorced her husband, a scandalous move at the time, and later married Oliver Belmont, another prominent figure. Sound of dramatic orchestral music. Narrator. Alva's impact was undeniable. She helped pave the way for women's suffrage, challenged gender norms, and used her privilege to fight for a more just society. Her model house mansion in Newport, Rhode Island, became a hub for activism and a symbol of her defiance. Sound of waves crashing gently. Narrator. But here's something you might not know. Alva was also a talented architect and designer. She played a major role in designing several of her own homes, including Marble House, which is now a popular museum. Music fades in uplifting and hopeful. Narrator. Alva Belmont's story is a reminder that even those born into privilege have a responsibility to fight for what's right. She used her voice and her wealth to make a difference, and her legacy continues to inspire us today. So, the next time you cast your vote, remember Alva and all the women who fought for that right.